Wow, straps. Wow.
Thank you and enjoy your flight.
Peace and blessings, everyone. I'm your host, Mocaso, and we're here in the 7th Raw High Club filming one of my metacasts, Evolutionaries. We can all see society is evolving. The way we connect, work, socialize, and even dress is transforming daily. This is a metacast dedicated to sitting down with those who see this as an opportunity and dive into how they are evolving along with it. Today, we have the privilege to talk with P2G Network. And yes, I said P2G, not P2D, but I know you already see the alignment. And we are going to actually talk about how they got into this space. And I would love for you all to start by introducing yourself. So, Miss Ruby, I'll pass it to you, and then we'll go to Hutch D. And y'all know we're going to let this conversation flow and dive into how they've been evolving. So, Miss Ruby, why don't you tell us about yourself and a little bit about what you do?
Okay, so my name is Ruby Thomas. As you can probably tell, the L in my name, I'm a Moor by birth, but I'm a Moor by existence. And I've been connected to the people in this space through just building on a need for our community. And when I say this space, I mean the crypto and financial literacy space. You know, I came into the game through technology because I run an IT company, have for the last 12 years, called Gotcha Tech. Gotcha Tech is a company that decided to hire techs to become a conglomerate of techs that service low-income areas, because we were the ones who were preyed on in the area of technology. So instead of having predators, you had neighbors that now had technical skills that service you. People that you know and you can trust in your home will be there to help you not only do work for you, but teach you how to take care of yourself. Now, this process evolved because not only did we service people, we taught them the basics of technology so that they would not have the same problems with pre-existing. Moving forward, we learned that the next issue was finances. I recognized that my biggest issue was finance and I need to do something different. I'm up in age. When I say up in age, a sister is over 40 and realized she hadn't learned anything about finances. I knew how to hustle. I knew how to make my money, and I made my money regularly. Since I was 9, I've had a hustle. But guess what? Hustle in a business is not a future. Those are different things. And I learned that the hard way, which was awesome. Because what I learned to teach. And that's where P2G came from. Crypto was a heaven sent. Because first of all, the name of P2G actually stands for pennies to gold. And because most of us is walking around collecting pennies anyway, that's how our money looks. Why not see what the large businesses are doing to turn their pennies to gold? And that's where that came from. We started building because crypto gave us that opportunity. And here we are.
That's amazing. And Hutch and D, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do?
All right, so like Sister Ruby said, I'm your main man, Hutch and D, aka HD, coming to you live inside the Evolutionary P2G jet today. Usually I'll say where I'm from, but let's see. I started my crypto journey in 2018, but really I started my crypto journey like in 2009. Like I tell everybody my Bitcoin story, it started when I was at Columbus State University, sitting in my dorm and reading the article, "Is Bitcoin the New Money?" Didn't know what was going on, didn't understand it. Even though I'm an IT major, I was like, "What is this?" Didn't understand what money was because I came from poverty. So, 2016, saw Bitcoin hit 20K. I was like, I want in. So, 2018, I dove in. Got into an affiliate company that I won't be mentioning, and I met my good friend Miss Ruby L. Thomas, brother Alvin Thomas. Then I brought my brothers LJ and Mario Pundra Nation, and then we have created P2G Networks in 2018. We had a show called Collect Enlightenment. And then from collecting enlightenment, it came rapid crypto as well. So that's a little bit of my background for everybody.
Man, and your background speaks for itself so much already, because one of my first questions, because you guys know we're talking about this evolution, right, and where you guys started from. And so usually I like to say, okay, well, what motivated you to get into Web3? But I think you guys both already explained, where you were. You just seen it clear as day. But was there anything that really pushed you all, or that stood out, that was like, man, this is what's happening that I need to be a part of? And was that push for you to really get into it, aside from, like you said, that 20,000 Bitcoin, or anything else that really made you be like, man, I got to take this serious and get into this right now?
First of all, crazy enough, I got into a process that was teaching me how to, the company was teaching me how, through financial literacy, saving gold. I'm be really honest, before I got into, really got into Bitcoin, because I got into Bitcoin all because of the bank. Let me just go back to the first story. I discovered the hoax that the banks was firsthand. So like I said, I got up in age over my 40s, and I have nothing. I mean, when I said I had nothing, I had a limited income. Basically, all my bills was paid, but no debt, because I didn't use credit cards for years. I was so scared of using cards. So I had no credit. And I wanted to get my life together. I didn't own any vehicles. I didn't have like a pension, because like I said, I've always had a business since I was 9. I didn't earn any time where someone needed to pay me at the end. You know what I'm saying? So what ended up happening, and I'm married, I was separated at the time. And my husband and I had separated for some time, and I was really pulling it together for a system. Now, while he was there, I needed to stand on my own too and handle some things, right? But I didn't have anything. He had the car, he had the pension. You know what I'm saying? And this is not a man, woman, or a male bashing thing. It's just that when you come to realize what you really do have and how long you spent on this planet, you want something different. So you ask the right question. And the right question was, what do I need to do to get this? Try to get a credit card, and they denied me. It took the guy telling me why I was denied to tell me to take one of the offers. We get those pre-authorized offers in the mail.
Yeah.
Everybody get that? Everybody trying to throw a card at you. They pre-authorize and you can get this for a whole year, no interest. He said, well, take one of those. Those are already pre-authorized. We can't tell you no. You'll get a card. And he was right. I built credit so damn fast, it was ridiculous. Within a year, because I shifted my money, I took my cash bill payments and put them on a credit card. I pay my bills twice a month. So I would hit them up 2 times. You know what they did? They said, we love how you pay, so we're going to give you some more. Child, I literally had about 40 grand in like 3 different cards that I was able to really maneuver. And I had an 840. I didn't even know the daggone credit went past a 790. I was just trying to get to a 790 or something high, higher than a 615 at the time. And the fact of the matter was, I was saving my money. I had really disciplined myself, because I said, well, I need a saving. I put my money in the bank. The whole year I was doing this with the credit. I just put some money aside, I was like, okay, it's made me realize I just wanted to do that. I had money to spend, money to burn. At the end of every month, I had at least $100 bill still left in my checking account. How does this work when you're now going from limited income to where you have a savings, you have all this credit, and your credit score is like booming. Your bills are paid in advance from a 0.
Right. So what you gonna do now? What you gonna do with it? That's a new form of power. Wow.
Yeah, I had $1,000 in cash sitting in my bank account in my savings by the end of the year, and I'm excited until I get a little notification in the mail. They sent me a letter. It said, "Wow, congratulations. This is your interest." I made 8 cents. Somebody explained to me how you get 8 cents of interest out of $1,000 for a whole year. Ooh, I realized something was terribly wrong with the system. I said, wait, hold up, what? What did you just say? Congratulations, you did it. And it was a tax form, so that was disgusting. Okay, I was disgusted. But not with the bank, what it stood for. I was disgusted for what would happen with my time and my money. Why wasn't I making any money? Because a bank is not meant for you to make money. A bank is a money store and they make money. You pay them to store your money. Let's get that transaction straight. And so once I did, I was looking for whatever I could put my hands on that might grow my fund. First time friend of mine called me. I had like little $1,000 to play with. I was willing to, hey, if I could save it, I could save it again. Let's see what we can do with it, right? Friend of mine called me up with this Bitcoin thing, and I looked into it. Not the thing she was talking about. I looked into Bitcoin. So when she said she had a way to get it, I went with her. Guess what we bought? We bought packages, y'all. We bought packages with a guarantee of 40% within a 90-day period. Y'all know those, right?
I don't know those.
Y'all know how that went.
Oh, like a liquidity pool?
This was long before anybody understood all of this. This was about 2017, just before I got involved with we started building on P2G, and this is part of why. I'm going to share with y'all 2016, sorry about that. It's 2016, my first experience was a little gap between my next experiences, put it that way. I figured $60 packages, I'll get $60, I'll get 40%. Who's not going to do 40% in 90 days? Girl, I made 8 cents on $1,000.
Mm-hmm. Anything sound better than that.
90 days in come on, somebody, right? So I get it. I got 3 packages. I said, well, let's just I got enough money, let's do it. $60 here, $40 there. And I signed up on the website, sent the money over, transaction. And in about 20 days, I wanted to find out what was going on with the account. So I go and log in. The account went open, but I didn't understand the Bitcoin part. How do I see what it is, what my package is doing? How do I see the coin? How do I see the account? Girl, this thing was the biggest scheme you've ever seen. They just had us all buying stuff. We didn't know what we were doing. And I remember at first I was thinking, how dare they? And then I thought about it. I just got scammed. Okay. That was the first time money ever left my hand without a return, and I valued more the lesson than I did the funds that were gone. It didn't tell me never to do it again. It told me I didn't do something first, which was research the company.
Right.
See, that's where the foundation of education came from, because that's what P2G is. People keep thinking it's some kind of money maker. You make money with knowledge. When you get knowledge of how to do it for yourself, you can make anything happen. But you got to be willing to learn from the mistakes. That's when we came into saving, and I said, well, okay, I wanted something else. Gold. Saving in gold. Oh my God, that's awesome. Gold holds its value. It's never taken a dip. You never seen gold go to zero. You never seen gold go out of style. And you never will. Because it's part of this natural thing we call the earth, and it's valuable. Okay? We'll get more into that. But I needed to know how to turn what I had, because I was running out of money, into something valuable. And we started saving in physical gold, and then it got introduced to crypto. And how we were introduced to crypto again was through a company developing a coin. And I had to learn more now. Before I go getting into something, you see what I'm saying? Learning from mistakes. Let me find out how this works. And I joined a company, and I'm not even putting their name out here on the show, but people know what that is. It's a savings and gold company that had a multi-level marketing company that helped people get paid for introducing others to the savings process. We ain't putting their name out there because I don't glorify Ponzi schemes. But I will share this with you. It started out amazing. They were legit. What happens is they went into crypto without the education. and a lot of people lost a lot of money. We began to teach their people, and people recouped money from the losses because we learned something and we taught it forward. And that's when we put together P2G, because we were tired of just going broke when everybody else in the world of crypto was making money.
Right, and you said it beautifully when you said that foundation. Like you said, y'all have been laying the bricks, building that foundation every single step, you know, every single hurdle. Like, oh, learned this, added that as another brick to that foundation. Learned this, added that to another brick. And we always have this quote where we say, you know, a brick is a brick, but you put all those bricks together, now you got a wall, you know, and now you can really build a house and protect and provide and do what you got to do in that house. Once you got that solid foundation, you could, you know, add a room, you could expand from there, and that's that key. Like you said, now you know what to do, and then you can pour into others, because like you said, crypto, you can make money, you can lose money, but like you said, there's people out here making a whole lot of money, and it's because you have to know how to make money, you know, and how to put this money to work, and all of these different things that you can do.
Right. Exactly, and that you got to understand, though, we have to remember that what it looks like. We make things like people go, crypto is bad after they lose money, and they don't realize you don't know what went wrong. You're not interested in what went wrong. You're interested in who to blame. And we've got to start thinking. We have to lift our thinking to another level. Wealthy people don't say who's at fault. They go, what happened? So that they can break down a process, come back out on the other side with a new plan.
Exactly. And in this, exactly. And in this day and age, gold and data is up there with oxygen. You know, Web3 is based on data, and that's why teaching this will never go out of style. You know, like you said, everything that you learn is also something that you can go and pass on to somebody else so that they can go take that. You know, when we were teaching people about stuff, we were telling them, we trying to teach you how to fish, you know, but then you learn also you could take people to water, but they got to also want to fish, you know. And so, but from there, you're still having that place for when people are looking for, hey, I got to go find a fishing pole and a net and figure out how to go eat. They gonna come find P2G and figure out how to turn those pennies to gold. And so that's amazing.
So you asked me another thing that turned that light bulb on too. I'm an innovator. Most of the things I do are built on foundational things. I'm an innovator. I started out as a tech company only because I didn't just want to work in someone else's tech company. So it's weird, but I got trained for free to get a job and then I opened a business immediately after class. So I'm like, I work, but I'm kind of like Robert Kiyosaki. I work to get the experience on how to do it for my damn self. Excuse my language, but yeah. I didn't come here to earn your respect and build your empire. I came here to learn to build. You know what I'm saying? Mario Ponjination's in the house. That's what's up. Look, I'm not trying to bogart the conversation. I just want to make sure you understand one thing. I got in it because I already saw crypto was going to take over, and all I needed to learn what it was that Bitcoin did. So once I saw the Bitcoin white papers, that was it. I quit my job. After I started P2G, we started having the classes built, and I realized I was burning that coin. I was burning that doggone candle at two ends. I quit my job. I started building on this. I've been building with people. That's all we've been doing. As one person connect to the next, and all their foundation and all their networks connect into the network of networks. That's where we get here. How we got the Raw network.
And we love your take, because together we can show folks that there aren't unicorns education drives that are making this change. And like you said, when we come together, that's what it is. That's what we tell people. We're an adhesive network. At first, people were talking about bridges, and we're like, no, we don't want people to, use us like a bridge and go to where they're going. We're trying to stick together, because that's what makes change. That's what we didn't do before.
In the city.
Exactly.
That's right.
And so
people think that You can build a bridge. You can build bridges, but remember, you got to be able to walk back and forth, and that's the problem. People too busy trying to step stone us, and it's like, no, we're not a step to another stone. We're part of the whole foundation, and you're gonna walk everywhere to and from. You have that freedom. You know what I'm saying? When you have that freedom to take steps in any direction, you can do what you want. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not just crypto. We're on the blockchain, but we are the world of financial literacy, of building and taking things from the blockchain into the real world, bringing them to the metaverse, and vice versa.
Right. Because like you said, man, this it's the blockchain, the technology. You know, we're living through this fourth industrial revolution, and that's why I be telling people, like, you know, we learned about the first, second, and third in school, but like we're living through it now where we see this technology, we see the renaissance, you know, we see the innovators, like you've said many times, the people that are seeing this tech and building with this tech, you know, building things that we wouldn't even imagine. You know, we all here in a jet in different states, but we look like we flying over New York and, you know, filming and showing it across the world. And, you know, we taking this global, you know, there's so many different concepts that we are able to now empower ourselves by that we wouldn't have had the opportunity to in the old ways. So man, I definitely am all for the mission here. And Hutch, did you have anything else that really pushed you to get into Web3 and kind of take off into the space that you wanted to add before we kind of dive into the next stage of you all's evolution?
Yes. What really got me digging into Web3 was basically my son, really, because like I was looking for something just to give to him when I leave this earth, and basically I see how the blockchain is moving, and I see how the blockchain is working, and I see how Web3 is moving. And then also one of my favorite artists, before anybody out there say that, you know, that there was Nipsey fans. I was a Nipsey fan when back in 2008 when I saw his first interview, Hard Knocks TV, when he was talking about buying assets instead of liabilities. You know, it started making me wonder. You know, I need to go buy some more assets and basically put myself into a better predicament than what I am. So you know, Nipsey was one of my major push, and I'm happy I received that message from him.
Yeah, that follow coin, man, it was big, you know, and again, it was just that education to show others like, hey, you can learn and we can do this together, and that impact that we have. And it's crazy because it's like we possibly the last generation of humans, you know, as AI evolves and cyborgs become a real thing, like you said, we'll be passing down to our kids who's, you know, that's all they gonna know, you know. And so it's definitely important for us to learn it and to use it, and like you said, to have to pass down to them and create this generational wealth and these assets, and, you know, like you said, doing things that we can really continue to build on for generations. Because that's another thing that I always tell people is like, you know, a lot of these, you know, politicians or systems that we see, that's not something that somebody came up with today. They just executing stuff that's been passed down for generations as well. And again, it's time for our people to be able to do the same and say, hey, we got something to pass down for generations also, so that they can keep building and taking it further than we could even imagine. So on that note, I would love to step into the next evolution of you all about what you're actually doing now, because I know we've talked a lot about where you all have been and what even got you here, but you guys are doing so many amazing things with this P2G network. So I would love to hear what it was like when you all actually came together and what you're working on now as a network.
So we came together out of a need because of the losses that were being taken in our organization. Because I'm not kidding you, I'm not a big salesperson. I don't see myself as a huge salesperson. I like sharing with my community. I don't like tricking people into stuff. I like educating. I always have love to educate. I share about education. So when we were teaching folks about saving in gold in this company, and then the company decided to figure out how to open up a little blockchain thing or open up an exchange and have its own coin, they were promoting it kind of on the big side. But what they weren't doing was showing us how to convert this digital account that was on a a back office to the actual blockchain. There was no, we were earning it by buying it. We were getting free coin by, marketing and affiliate process. We were getting all this free coin, so they said. We could also buy packages of extra coins, and as we purchased our gold, we were getting free coins and stuff for this future project that would be worth the physical gold. Now, a crypto worth gold is a definite for me. I'm down with them process, but I gotta see. You know what I'm saying? Show me the money. You gotta show me the money.
For
You
real.
can't just tell me that it's father son. I know this is digital.
Jerry Maguire.
So, yeah, I mean, you got to show me. So they did a good job having a lot of fun, showing it off, and events, and come walk through the vault, and all of that. Companies were legit. They had their paperwork in order. And unfortunately, the digital side was not so legit. See, the gold company had been around for well over 11 years doing business successfully in gold sales. What ended up happening is they did what the government did with gold and fiat. They told us it was worth something, but never connected it in any physical way. And while we would get these wonderful values, a lot of people were buying millions of these coins, millions of dollars of these coins, but wasn't being taught how to turn their accounts into a blockchain wallet process, which we learned very early on. Crypto exists in a wallet on the blockchain. Company is working on devising the platform and everything, and we're bringing. I mean, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of people around the world, multiple countries, and a good portion of them are third world. And people putting in their retirement, hoping for the $1 million of spillage because they're hearing about crypto constantly, about Bitcoin. This coin is being compared to Bitcoin, and for heaven's sake, I'm not falling for it. I'm doing my homework the whole time. We're teaching the basic math in our night classes. Shout out to Larry Wiggins Bay and Marcus Slate Bay, who were amazing builders in this process. They were amazing marketers that brought people together, but they were amazing, awesome trainers. They had groups that were growing by the hundreds of all young people buying the gold, buying the crypto. But they even knew when they came to me, it was like, Miss Ruby, we got to understand this crypto thing. We got to understand how this wallet thing works. It's not floating. And we talked to them about the numbers, understanding the numbers of the math of finances. Because people don't do that, y'all. People don't consider that your money is math, it's numbers. And if you don't know your numbers, you're probably broke and you don't know why.
Right.
Because you don't connect the two. So we connect the two. We show them the math. And get this, I can show you how to be a millionaire using third grade math. Would that make you feel better about your math skills? You know what I'm saying? That's the basis for our teaching in P2G. We try to make people realize this ain't rocket science. You've been doing this longer than you know.
Right.
You just haven't been knowing what you were doing. And we put that together for people. You should see the light bulbs go on. It's almost like I see people awaken. I start hearing seniors talking like they grew up on this. You know how exciting that is? To have the seniors take over the conversation in the room because they came to 3 of your classes, and now they're talking DeFi, and now they know what coins are, they know what the wallets are, they know what they... Come on now, when they coming out talking the language in a few weeks, now they're teaching. That's where our program started, because then we had to have the seniors teach the seniors, let people speak in their own language. You know what I mean?
We
Yes.
also had crypto kids.
Go ahead, Hutch.
Don't forget about the babies.
Oh, you mean our crypto kids?
Yeah.
So, like I said, we speak in the language. This is why we're building in the metaverse, because we really
That's my
want.
nephew in New York.
Yes, he's doing well, by the way. He's 8 years old, and he's in our Meta Apprentice program with adults, and doing very well. This is a young man who loves to draw, so I promised him if he drew for Auntie, she would make him NFTs, and he's really excited because he now has 2 metaverse rooms on 2 different metaverse platforms. And that boy, every time we give him, I have to literally tell him it's time to go to bed.
And that's good though, you know, because if you wasn't feeding it to him, the world was gonna be feeding it to him anyways. You know, he's seeing it anyways, and you really educating him, like you said, you pouring into others. And it's funny, we had we called it our baby well program, where we had the young people, the older people, because like you said, others got to hear that language or see it. Like you said, you know, maybe don't put your whole retirement in there, but learn how to, again, put that retirement to work, you know, because you putting your money in there, and that's all that they using your money for, you know. So why don't you take some of that power, and you know what to do with that money, and you go, you know, understand that, like you said, because like you said, we've been doing this. So welcome, Spirit Mario 33. Welcome. Welcome to Evolutionaries. We are currently filming and talking about how you all as P2G Network is evolving. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do?
Drew.
Mario, you may have to unmute. Sorry, he might not. I think he's on his phone. Probably.
Okay, well, no problem. We'll kind of keep it rolling. And it's crazy because one thing I would say, like you said, we've been educating these young people for a little bit now as well, and that's kind of our target audience. Even when it comes to like our shows and stuff, we always try to like target that younger generation, because again, we understand that they're being targeted, and it's beautiful because our young person that was like really head of our baby well program is now in college, and he learned how to fly drones, and now is getting, that's what he does part-time, you know, just again understanding like, oh mom, I don't need you to send me no money, I don't need you, you know, to worry about this, that, and the third. And you know, and that came off the strength of saying, hey, what do y'all think, you know, I should go into college even focusing on and thinking about, understanding, you know. And it's like, don't go and waste these 4 years doing something that you're not going to really be able to use for the future. And so Hutch, was there anything that you wanted to add about how you all came together, and how the P2G network got started, or even what you guys have going right now?
It came together because, like Ms. Ruby said, it was a need in our community. Basically, like she said, shout out to Marcus, shout out to Larry. A lot of us were losing money in the affiliate marketing business, and then shout out to one of my mentors in this crypto space, Raymond Wilson and Christopher Boyd, for teaching me, giving me little hits and tips to basically go out and go do my own research and come back to the community and give the information to the community, because basically without them just giving me the hints and me doing my research, a lot of stuff wouldn't came to place. Like I was teaching people how to, you know, get one of the first coins was like the SNS token, the synthetic networks token, how to create synthetic assets on the blockchain. The next token was like Uniswap, when people started receiving the Uniswap airdrops, the 400 tokens, and it was just, and then it took off from there. Just me learning every night. So me sitting there on my phone reading white papers, starting to understand NFT. Shout out to my boy LJ. He is the NFT guru of the Rap Crypto group. I'm the metaverse guy, and Mario over there, he is our crypto guy, man. He been studying the white papers, give us hints and tips about new cryptos coming out. So it's just all of us coming together, just like I said, building a better community. Where we at right now? Just want to shout out RapToken.xyz for sponsoring the Rap Crypto podcast, Hip Hop Canada. I also like to shout out Baghead Distribution. So any artists out there that's looking to get distribution through a company, we are part of Baghead Distribution. Let's see, anything else I want to forget?
Don't forget to eat well.
Oh yeah, shout out to our other affiliate, man, Web Ties, man. DWeb 100, Ms. Vorges Mitchell, which is a blockchain realtor. she will be helping us real estate in these metaverses and these courses. So definitely, I'm definitely happy to have WebTie as a part of us as P2G Networks, and hopefully coming soon, P2D Networks will be part of us with us network too. So we would love to have you guys as part of the network join too. That's family.
Oh yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
just like one of the goals of P2G is to see we were the originators of the courses on our platform. The goal for us has always been to incorporate other networks in our network that take over the classes we taught, because I'm gonna be honest, it's not that I don't want to do it anymore. I know the vastness of this space. I know the power that we are together. I know this. Because when you can have a course that becomes a each one teach where people go from learning in your class to teaching the classes, there's so much more out there, and that's what we do. We've been that from day one. It's an each one teach one platform that actually created that way, has now offered, we have smart contacts came out of our platform. That's Miss Chocolate, who moved from teaching she was teaching smart contracts for kids and young people and families, and now she's teaching home education, literally for people who want to homeschool. Then we have JoJo. Oh my goodness, NF Trees, her project with literally nature on the blockchain. This woman has created an entire organization called what is it called? Because I always get it tongue tied. It's
the 3andMe. The 3andMe exchange. If you want more info, 3andme.info. Definitely go look on there. I'm working on building her metaverse site now for her 3andMe exchange bank.
These are they work with all of it, teaching you how this blockchain is changing the lives of people, how you can change your business. We do crypto in your business, and actually that has been evolved to metaverse your business, to where we're having small businesses. We're now showing small businesses the potential of the metaverse, their business on the blockchain. Now, they're not going to build it, so we created a program called the Meta Apprentice, so that people who want new skills and need new skills to work from home can now work with businesses in their community to bring them to the blockchain. They now have new skills where they will get paid for connecting people to this thing called blockchain and give them a presence. That's building our digital real estate course. Because, honey, I ain't gonna lie, digital real estate has made me a happy woman. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. When I watch the properties around my own building go from 3 coins to 360 coins just to get in, I was flipping on one of my platforms because I didn't even know anybody was willing to pay. I was like, hey, you gotta be kidding me. I'm just looking at my building. I live in Harlem, right? Child, do you know how quickly Harlem has filled up? I am so excited. I mean, ridiculously excited for what's going on. But the fact is you know how few people actually see what I see? These platforms have millions rolling through them. And they don't know it. I got a lot of this for $10. While they building on the values around me.
That's that early movers advantage, man.
Come on now, and now we're teaching people that's a class how to acquire what it is and how to acquire digital real estate.
Yep. And then what were you about to add there, Hutch? Oh, sorry, Miss Ruby.
I was gonna say that's why I want to own a lot of my own hometown of LaGrange, Georgia, through through OVR and through Super World and stuff. So it's so much money flowing around through these projects. A lot of people don't even realize that stuff's going on around them. They think you're making fairy tale money when you actually can pull it out and withdraw and show them. But why would I want to take and sell my asset?
Exactly, and it's a fun. Oh, go ahead, Miss Ruby.
No, I was just tailing him off to say, especially when it hasn't matured.
And I was just gonna say, it's so funny how our alignments are so aligned, and it's funny when it says God says who when he guides his people, it's no lie, because we remember the $1,200 uni drop, and like you said, I homeschool and show people that here on blockchain, and got somebody that showing how to raise your chickens and sell their eggs, and we got a farm here in the metaverse, and our whole thing is showing businesses how to go physical to digital. So again, when we talk about that alignment and people that see this mission and how we just get stronger by coming together, it's just an amazing part. So I've just been honored to sit here and listen to this, and I hope everybody listening is really soaking this in and understanding again the power of that education, right? Even if you say I don't even know where to start, it starts with the education. It starts by studying and doing your research and starting to build that foundation and connecting with networks of people that want to see you succeed and have that education. And like you said, each one teach one, because then you know something already, right? And you already have something to bring to a network without even knowing it sometimes. And when we can just start to nurture that, again, that's when our community just becomes even stronger than ever. So I know we've talked a lot about what you guys have gone through as you've kind of come into becoming P2G Network. So I always like to ask, now that you guys have been in the space, what is your favorite part about being in Web3 and what you all are doing?
I think my favorite part of Web3 is basically just interacting with different people. Some people I thought I'd never have a chance to interact with, but Web3 has brought me closer to just interacting with more people. Web3 has shown me that you can accept payments through just through your domain name. Another thing with Web3 is this metaverse, just basically creating storefronts for businesses has been a different experience for Web3 as well for me.
Exactly, because when you talk about digital real estate, that's where those domains come in, and again, these assets, and again, owning this and being able to really see how you can even utilize it, with this new technology. So that's amazing. Miss Ruby, did you want to add what your favorite part of Web3 is?
So I'm much more visual, and I love much more visual, but much more social. I love that we're able to have the privacy and protection of our space. One thing people go, privacy. There's no privacy in the world. Mm-hmm. That's because they don't know it. They don't know the space, and I can begin to see how the world is moving. There is people don't recognize that what the technology is and what it does, what it provides for. All of this advanced, and it's not just advanced technology, but it's the advancements that are made have an effect on the world around us. And most of us aren't looking at how the world is, what the world is doing anyway. We basically think we're always told what to do, and we're very good at doing what we're told. Does that make sense?
It sure does, especially when we see our society.
Exactly. And with the biggest issue that we have, the biggest problem I've had with explaining it to people is convincing folks that they can do whatever they want with the privacy and protection of technology. It's not all open. It's not all regulated. And even the areas that are regulated can be used properly and integrated properly. You don't have to give away your freedom in order to live, and then you can live ways that you never were able to by communicating with people. I have partnered with different platforms. Child, I have used of templates that I mean beautiful, luxurious templates that were created. They're actually custom, and only because I decided to support a creator. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I decided I wanted to support the creators. When a lot of people get so-called free stuff online, the last thing you do is hit the button to support, because you're too busy using what's for free. All I did was hit support to say, hey, I like your style. I love what you do. And get this, I got an email that said, come on and take a walkthrough, because I'm now giving away 5 new higher world. I'm like, wait, what? I was saying I like you here, and it was on a platform that I really like because I'm learning about the different payment systems, the different systems that are outside and inside our Web3 process,
Mm-hmm.
and how they integrate. I'm a tech head, by the way. I'm sorry, I don't know if y'all got this, but I'm a huge tech head. I'm the translator. When people don't understand certain things that tech say and tech don't understand how people are dealing with certain things, I'm the middle person. I make sure that conversation goes smoothly and people get what they need to get done.
Mm-hmm.
But I see that's one of the reasons why, that's what led me to blockchain and crypto in the first place. Because if it was just crypto, I might not be here. It was
Right.
blockchain that opened my eyes and said, nope, this is the future. It ain't going nowhere. Let's go.
Right.
It gives me an opportunity. The first time I ever got a chance to come in on the ground floor of something and make anything happen, as long as I got in, stayed in, moved into space, built on my knowledge, and kept acquiring my assets. I'm not expecting to be a rich person in the next month, and I tell people don't expect that. This the long game, baby. This the long game. The kind of game that you hear people got their name on buildings, the kind of games they play.
Mm.
That's the game you're playing now with crypto. I don't care if you got a starter account or not. You in the game. That if you're in the Web3 space, you in the game.
Yeah. And like you
know,
said, and we playing for the long game, right? We playing to win and take off at this point. And
And you ain't doing nothing but winning. No matter your forward or backwards movements, you're always winning. Always.
exactly. And that's the key, because as you grow in the space, you grow into a developer and an administrator and just everything that you can even dream of. Like you said, bigger things than you could have even imagined. And so on that note, I would love to even understand how you guys are going to continue to evolve. So one of my last questions, well, I have one more special question, but before we get into that, because I see we getting close to our New York space where we're going to go and actually explore the rap and crypto arena. But I would love to hear one of you all's short-term goals and one of your long-term goals as well, so that we understand where y'all heading to and how we can continue to support. Because I think you just also said one of those amazing things, which is this new way of being able to support one another, right? And really be able to harness that and continue to support one another, and how that even looks for creators being able to pour into those that do support each other, because that's what's amazing once we have this blockchain technology and you connected, right? And you can see who's really supporting you and continue to pour into each other. And that's the ecosystem, right? And it just gets stronger over time. So I would love to hear some of you all short-term and long-term goals.
How do you want to start?
Sure. My short-term goal for this year is to basically get Rap Crypto message out even further than I have previously. Long-term goal is to see P2G Networks up there with like a Revolt TV, or like just even like a Rock Nation. You know what I mean? Just proud brand that most people know in their households. That is my long-term goal.
Hey, we with it.
And just bringing everybody along with us who is networked with us, alongside with us. Because, like, we as a network, we don't function without everybody else functioning with us. So, we are a group. We move as a unit. We build as a unit.
That's amazing. And is there anything that we should be looking out for that you guys have coming up, or anything like that you'd like to plug?
You'll be involved. So remember, we have the party coming at the end of March. So the end of the first quarter, which is March of the year, we are going to be celebrating the graduation of our second session for the Meta Apprentice by opening up our very first world, which is going to be P2G Block Wall Street. We're currently inviting small business owners who have transferable product lines. So before we go local, We're going to make sure we get the ones that have stuff that who can mail out or send out what it is or have online business in the space. Artists, and that means music, from everything from music to physical visual art, as well as video and all the different types of genre. We are going to be putting everyone in a space we call Block Wall Street. Right now, we have about 4 or 5 partnerships that are rolling with us right now, platforms that are really connected to different industries, and they're bringing their industries into the crypto space and the Web3 space. But everyone will be able to find corridors to their interests by walking through Block Wall Street. We will support one another. We will financially support one another back and forth. This will be a membership-based process. People will be able to join it. We will be our very own Amazon space. And people think Black Wall Street was about people, black people. We remind folks that was one of the downfalls of the Black Wall Street, the Black Wall Street project. It wasn't its strength. It was a point which was made pointed because they had to put that together. They had no choice in the world. So we're going to show people, we the people make the blockchain. Therefore, Block Wall Street are for everyone who connects in with the same morals and standards to work together and build.
Ooh.
And we are the community creators.
Man, y'all are preaching.
We're looking forward to that. We are going to be putting out, we're going to be sending out to you as well invitations to the space. We're going to be doing official invitations that will be sent out, matter of fact, the first week of March to come into the last week of March with the invitations to come in and have fun. Some people can market in that event. So it'll be a live space. So it's not going to be whereas, you're just going to be looking around. You can shop there. You can even do your shows there. If you want to do shows in the space, we'll schedule a day for the whole day. We've done this on Zoom, and we're going to do this again. You'll be able to go to different sessions like we were in a gigantic event space. And so we're looking forward to also scheduling this show. I'm excited. We're going to be pulling the Royal Network into space.
Okay.
P2G will be under P2G. That's what's up. I love it.
We definitely going to be there. We definitely.
Yes.
And I hope everybody watching is going to be there too, because again, it's for if you have a business, if you want to support businesses, if you want to learn it. We got a little bit of everything for everybody, and so again, it's just you have to come and see, and that's the first step, and that step is enough. So you guys make sure that you really follow all of these amazing people here from the P2G Network and come and be a part of that network. Join the network, because again, we are stronger when we get together. And again, you've talked about that leverage, and again, it's when we have that understanding and come together. So on that note, I always love to end or even before I ask my last question, Spirit Mario, were you able to get your microphone on and have anything that you wanted to add to today's episode of Evolutionaries?
Yes, I do. I hope everybody here can hear me. Can anybody hear me?
We sure can.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
And welcome. Why don't
It
you
is nice to
introduce
be in the
yourself?
building.
Yeah, tell us about it.
It's nice to be in the building tonight. I thank you all for having me here tonight. Crypto Raw, Miss Ruby, Purchase and D. We in the building. Rapping crypto, P2G Network.
And so
overall, from the time I've been in here to the time to what I've heard now, my experience in the Web3, to me, I believe the important part is just being able to take advantage of the pioneering stages, and also being able to see the layer 0 blockchains coming in. So that's going to be a full effect show to see on Web3.
I love that. That, like you said, we building, right? There's layers to it, and I know they said you're the crypto guy. So with that, I would love to hear kind of how you kind of got into the space and have evolved as well. If you wanted to tell us a little bit more about what you do, and again about your own evolution with maybe how you even got into crypto and got connected with the P2G network.
All right. So when I got into crypto, I started off with Bitcoin, the Coinbase wallet. So, but when I really got into Bitcoin, I started off on Cash App. I started seeing that they had opened up the you could get you a Bitcoin address. So I started looking more into it, like okay, started checking out a few crypto wallets through the Google App Store. So after a while, I used to work at a fast food restaurant, more like a sports bar. So that's when I really got into learning about Bitcoin.
Okay, and then so
That's
how?
when Bitcoin was around. I would say around.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What was you gonna say?
Oh no, sorry. Go
I
ahead.
was
You keep
gonna
going.
say, that's when Bitcoin was around like. I was gonna say that's when Bitcoin was around like 700 to 800. So I grabbed me a little bit. I didn't throw too much in. I wasn't too big on Bitcoin at the time. It was still sort of developing. So after that, I met my brother D right here. I've been known him for a good minute. We grew up in the same town down here where I'm at, LaGrange, Georgia. So I didn't know, I didn't know the brother was into crypto like that. So when he put me on, I would say it was Four Sides. When he put me on the Four Sides, that's when I really got into crypto. Four Sides had a good run back in the day. But we all know, for those who do know what happened to Four Sides. So I started going to the point to where I created my own private Telegram channel. And I started off with about 50 to 60 subscribers. So I was messing with crypto bots. I don't know if you ever heard of a crypto bot, a free crypto bot, to where you could get small increments of crypto. But a lot of people, they wouldn't mess with that like that. Connecting your address to your main wallet. So I used a dummy wallet, and I created free crypto for these free crypto bots on Telegram. So I made me a referral channel. Started sending out referrals. A lot of people started messing around with the crypto bot referrals, and it went on from there. Now my whole revolution experience within the whole crypto realm, I'll say it's been wild. I've had my ups and downs. But we all won't win too fast.
Right. And I would say, what has been your favorite part about being in Web3 along your journey?
Well, my favorite part about being in Web3 is just being able to, explore the world of nodes as well. Decentralized nodes.
Yeah.
Just exploring a lot of these decentralized dApps. I remember when PancakeSwap started. PancakeSwap started off as a mere airdrop on Telegram. Now PancakeSwap became one of the highest dexes on Binance Smart Chain. Started off from a baby stages. PancakeSwap, they've also made updates about integrating into Web3 as well. So that's just been my whole experience. Just watching a lot of Web3 projects, contracts, layer 1 blockchains. You got the layer 1, 2 blockchains that's coming into existence. And also dealing with Web3. you know, now we're starting to see the money trails. We're starting to see the money trails of, you know, the people who really have the hands in behind the scenes, but they're really not trying to show themselves. So, you know, there's always been a war inside the crypto realm. There's a war going on now, silent war inside the crypto realm. But, you know, in the end, I'm not really looking to win. Just, hey, now we won all the crypto, we can do what we want. I'm not looking for that. I'm just looking for the right way to do it.
Man, and
but you know, we're dealing with some people and some entities that, you know, want to take our decentralized rights away from us. You know, I'm always be on that side. So
yeah, and you had said it as soon as you started
I'm all
talking.
in for a journey.
Right, and you said it, you know, that being a pioneer, that early movers advantage, like you said, seeing Pancake on Telegram and even understanding that Telegram culture, right? Because, like you said, it's really deeper than just crypto. It's the technology, the blockchain, and that's something that we've covered so many topics within the little bit of time that we've been sitting here, and we can all go so much deeper into everything that we've talked about, because that's how crypto is, right? It's like a rabbit hole, and that's why they say that, because you can just keep going further and further and further, and there's still so much more in store that we haven't even seen yet. And that's why it's so amazing for us to be a part of it, so that we can be helping build that. And so on that note, I have one last question, which is for anybody watching now or 5 years later and sees the P2G network and is inspired to maybe join the P2G network or get into blockchain, what is some advice that you would give to them at this time?
I'm going to start, because I always tell people this on my talk show. Don't believe anything I say. Do your homework. Investigate. Because I'm not here to convince you. We are not here to convince you. We are sharing. And when someone shares something with you, you have an option to take it or leave it. We want you to make a good decision. I remember my first time when someone told me about Bitcoin. I said it sounded like a scam. Child, had I taken the time to just go figure out what it was they were talking about and just look it up, I might not be on this show today. I can tell you that. Because the sister would have some Bitcoin and figured out how to get some Bitcoin and hold it. Because Bitcoin, when I learned about it, it had to be about $50 a coin. Honey, I would have found a way to get $50. Okay. But the fact of the matter is, like I always tell people, I'm not here to be your messiah. I am here to share information and walk a journey with those who are willing to walk. I ain't dragging nobody to wealth and security. So we love you. Oh, we do. And sincerely, every person that's ever joined has always known they were a part of our family. And we made a point to make sure everyone felt that way. That is the truth. You are family, and we love our family, every member, exactly where they choose to be.
But that's something that you have to learn too, right? Because it's hard at first, because you want more for your people, but like you said, you have to learn how to love them where they at too, and respect their journey. And so I applaud you for that. That's a wonderful advice. And everybody watching, you know, you're a part of this journey as well, because we all gonna be a part of this, whether you know it or not. So, you know, again, no matter where you at in your journey, you know, that's on you. And to piggyback off that, I always tell people, if you know you're going left right now, you don't got to keep going left. You can stop and start going right, okay? So, you know, again, take this and listen, and really, like she said, go do your own research and, you know, keep on your journey at that point, and again, connect with these amazing people. So thank you for that, Miss Ruby. Thank you for everything you've shared today, because you've definitely been over here dropping gems. And I know y'all heard her say she got a talk show. So again, make sure you guys follow, like, subscribe. We're going to give all the plugs here at the end. And like I said, we also are going to go check out some of their own spaces. And you guys know they also have they rap in crypto every Wednesday at 9, as you can see playing in the background. But Hutch D, I'll go to you next and ask, what would you tell the next person that is inspired by you all?
I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to hear the question.
Okay, sure. I was just saying, for somebody that's watching now or in the future, if they see P2G Network and either want to join the network or start their, Web3, Bitcoin, blockchain education, what is some advice that you would give to them, or even to your kid? Because again, I usually ask, what would you tell a 14-year-old? What would you tell that young person that's watching this now and is thinking like, man, I should do it, but I really don't know how to do it or where to even start?
I'm gonna tell you just like Steve Harvey said in a motivational video, just jump. Just take a leap and just jump. Because at the end of the day, if you don't take a leap and just jump out on faith, you'll never know what could come from things. Like, you always can say, oh, I want to go play football, or I want to go play basketball, or I want to go play baseball, or I want to go build the next computer like Bill Gates. Do it. Jump out, take a leap of faith. If you don't land, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna hit rocks for the first time, and then you keep going. It's a learning lesson. It takes lessons. You never consider a loss unless you stop trying. It's a learning lesson when you keep going. So I just say keep going. Even if you don't land the first time right, keep going the second time, third time, and then pretty soon that parachute gonna come out, and you're gonna land properly, and you're gonna be on your feet, and you're gonna see things come out, the things where you want to see.
That's amazing. Just jump. Y'all heard it. And like he said, that's advice that you heard him say he got from Steve Harvey, because again, these are things that you can keep passing on, and that's why it's important that we all take the time. We all have different shows and different ways that we've been putting into the space to actually show others how they can do that. So Spirit Mario, did you have any advice that you would pass on to somebody that's interested in learning crypto or getting a part of the P2G network and what you all have going on?
Yes, I do. I have some good coaching advice. First off, crypto is not a scam. Crypto is very real. But you have the term scammers inside the crypto world, and if you don't know anything about crypto and you just see a project that's, blooming for the first time, or, you find somebody on WhatsApp, YouTube or whatever, and they're talking good money about, some investment they got going on, you can get sucked into that. You can get sucked into it, and, you can lose your funds. It's on a bad note. And also, do extensive research on, if you're into the metaverse, you mess with a lot of metaverse currency, metaverse virtual world, and for those who are watching, I don't know if you ever heard of imvu.com. That came out way back in the day. I'll say like what, 2008, 2009. That was the virtual world. That was the metaverse then. That was just the testing grounds, But you got the metaverse. You got digital currency. You got these contracts. You got nodes. You got coding. But just dealing with each level, research inside the crypto realm. Make sure you do research. Do research upon homework research on whatever you're doing. Me, I've sifted through so many different cryptos and tokens and different dApps, launch pads. So I've seen a lot of, you know, I've seen a lot of bad crypto. I've seen a lot of good crypto in between, but it's all been an experience.
Man, that was a great point right there. It's all been an experience, right? Because,
Crypto is not money. You know, I would like to get a T-shirt. I would like to get a T-shirt that says "Crypto is not money. Crypto is technology." That's what it is.
I'm gonna make that T-shirt, brother. I know I'm with you. We've been shouting that to the practice forever. So I guess I'm gonna have to make that T-shirt. We're gonna put it from P2G Love.
It is, and that's what and you know it's crazy. We always tell people currency is energy, right? And again, it's what we make it. And young audience, the proverbs: share a fool, and his money will soon will soon depart. So we always early and never late. So I think you guys made some really great points here, and I see we've got LJ in the house. Welcome.
LJ.
How we doing, y'all? Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings.
Going on.
We are
not too much. I'm sorry about that.
Hey, no problem. We are happy to have you here and Evolutionaries podcast. We are actually just about landing here in New York. So I know we are going to be heading over to you all space soon. But before we did that, LJ, I would love to give you the floor a bit to maybe tell everybody about yourself and then maybe just a little bit about your evolution.
Okay. I appreciate that. Well, my name is LJ. Of course, as you all may know, I'm a part of the Rapid Crypto show. I'm one of the co-hosts with my brother HD and Mario here. Produced by the P2G Networks. Our producer is our lovely Miss Ruby that is sitting here with us as well. So big shouts out to them. To be honest with y'all, my journey into this space and where I stand now would be nothing without the three individuals that have been talking to you guys so far. Because as I'm sure you guys have heard Miss Ruby say, the different things that were the vision that has now become the P2G Network. From the vision that happened with my brother HD in terms of being able to create and have the vision to push forward for Rapid Crypto. A lot of the things that my brother Mario talks about dealing with being able to explore and really get in depth and understand all the currencies, all the way down to the nitty gritty of, hey, you're going to go through a bunch of currencies that might not be any good. Man, I mean cryptocurrencies. But there's going to be a lot of different things that you're going to explore, but you have to explore those things in order to understand what you're getting into. So for me, a lot of my experience has really come down to being in the space with these individuals. Personally, what has basically happened with me, I've gotten to a lot of different projects dealing with DeFi. I, as the group like to tell me, I specialize in dealing with helping people build NFT projects, integrating NFTs into their businesses, integrating NFTs into different metaverse spaces, especially here in Spatial. I am a project manager for a couple of different projects. One of them being my brother's. Big shouts out to brother I Am Versatile. He has a production and record company called I Am Versatile Records Productions. You guys can go check that out on OpenSea. But I am the project manager that basically manages that portfolio, make sure all the NFTs get minted, make sure everything stays up to date, price changes, so on and so forth. So when it just comes down to a lot of different things in this space, like I said, my experience has been with all of these individuals that are sitting here with you now. But I'm just really excited because I get to have opportunities like this. Just being, I had my mouth dropped when I dropped into this space here, because what has basically now happened is not only is there an evolution of what myself, Brother HD, Brother Mario, and Miss Ruby, as well as the rest of the P2G family have put into place. But there's an evolution of basically a mindset and a vision of not only what they've had, but what I've had, what I've had as well, with, a lot of things dealing with rap and crypto. So the funny thing is, I'm enjoying the aesthetics of everything in the room, and then at first I didn't notice, but I'll also speak to what's also been happening as far as my evolution. I learned in college, big shout out to my frat, Phi Beta Sigma Blue Phi. I learned in college just dealing with a lot of things where I was helping with marketing and promotion and things of that nature. That what was basically going on is I developed a love for trying to basically get into marketing, specifically creating flyers, creating different advertisements, commercials, and things of that nature. So a lot of times when you see promotions and marketing and things on the actual Rap and Crypto page, a lot of times it's a collaboration, with me and my brother HD here. But it's basically allowed me to expand. Like I've basically gotten myself into a position that I never would have, thought I would be in. Because marketing just wasn't necessarily something I thought, oh, okay, cool, well, I'm gonna get into. But now, because I've basically dealt with business development on many different levels, I've basically now expanded, and basically revolutionized the area that basically is still developing. And of course, I'm not the only revolutionary here. Everybody in this room is a revolutionary. But it's just one of those things with being a part of this, being able to revolutionize, this space, and being able to, just evolve overall, from a mindset that's just an idea, to being able to have vision of what exactly you want out of that mindset and that idea, and then being able to expand from there and be able to actually create it. Everything that is basically manifested into, some of the different things that you see in this room, as well as the people that sit in this room. It's just, it's amazing. I'd like to say all that to say I'm truly blessed. I'm truly blessed to be sitting here, and I'm actually very, very humble. And I appreciate you all having, the family here, to be able to introduce themselves and share, some of the things that we have going on, as well as some of the projects. So thank you all.
Man, and I love how you brought it all together like that. And like you said, that's really what it is, right? Everybody a part of the family, everybody adding to it. And we all at the table now because we building a table, and we always have a saying that says bring bring a dish. Don't come and get your plate to go, but come be that person that brings a dish, so it really is a feast, and we eating good, and and we're gonna keep doing that and keep coming together. And so I just admire everything that you shared, and definitely there's a lot more in store to come. Before we head over to the Rap and Crypto headquarters, I would love to ask if you, if somebody seen and heard and was inspired by anything that you mentioned and wanted to, follow down this path and also be a part of the P2G Network even, what is some advice that you would give them?
Go to P2GNetworks.com.
Hey.
Facts.
So the P2GNetworks.com, you will find every single thing you want.
Right. Awesome. Well, I see we did just make it to the Rap and Crypto Arena. So we are going to be clicking that portal and heading right over. Everybody that's been watching, I hope that you guys enjoyed that. But we are really about to dive into the good stuff and see what they are all about. So let's all click on the portal and head right over. I'll see you soon.
Flight crew, please prepare for landing.
The Rap and Crypto Arena, and Miss Ruby is going to be showing us all around. So Miss Ruby, why don't you lead the way?
Sure, not a problem. Okay, so this is one of our halls of fame, and these are our show flyers. These are some of the people that we have interviewed on Rap and Crypto within the last 2 years. A good portion of these people are running very successful organizations, and I mean actually all of them are. Some of them are working in certain different industries. Some are artists. Some are financial literacy teachers and educators with their own platforms, and there's a lot. So we also speaking of which, come on over. This is our little Hall of Fame. If you come over, you get to see one of our partners. This is Benjamin Ha. He is the CEO of Newsplace, where we also have platforms in the metaverse. It's a little different than Spatial. So the visit for that space would run a little different because we don't use avatars. Our avatars are our actual navigators. So we would be navigating these particular third-party spaces, which are amazing. We have built several of our projects started on that platform, and they have been growing a lot more so there. Loving how we get such creativity, freedom of creativity. LJ, Hutch, you want to share a little bit about the project that you guys have been building, even with the students, for the Black History program?
Actually, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I'll jump in. Basically, shout out to Perrin Woods.
Perrin Woods don't get you credit for that. Big shout out to Springfield City School District, but yeah, I can't even let Perrin Woods take credit for that. Big shout out to Fulton Elementary School, man. Big shout out to Fulton Elementary.
Shout out to them.
Fulton Elementary.
Oh no, you good? You good, bro? You good? Look, I work at Fulton now, so I can't even let Perrin Woods take the rap for that. No. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Shout out to Springfield, but we had kids basically pick their favorite Black History person, and basically we made a Black History museum. We made their figures pictures, and their pictures move when you walk by them. And basically they dressed up as their figure for their project, basically for their parents to come and see their Black History project. And so basically when you walk around the museum, the kid will come up and step up as the person who they're dressing up or represent as.
Nice. It's amazing. It's like, oh, go ahead. Sorry, LJ, go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just gonna jump in on the back end and add just a little bit more. So I know Miss Ruby had mentioned Newsplace. I did want to make sure I did give the credit to the fact that we did build that Black History Museum in Newsplace originally, because we actually jumped into Newsplace before we actually came to the Spatial space. So with Newsplace, like you said, we were basically able to put ourselves in a position where when we set everything up, we basically had it set up to where we got the pictures of the actual figures that they had, and like you said, when you walk up, the actual facial features are moving and everything. And if anybody's interested in seeing that, you can actually go ahead and go to muse.place/Black History Museum. Again, that is muse.place/Black History Museum.
Would you like to see it?
That's completely
Join me in sorry.
Oh, wait, we gotta find Miss Ruby. Let's see.
I'm the producer, remember?
Of course.
Come on in, let's take a look at the site.
Ooh, we getting a special treat.
I gotta love it. So yeah, a lot of times we do a lot of presentations and different things in this room, and we also, when we hold Rapid Crypto live, this is the room that we're doing it.
Amazing.
Or I should say live in the metaverse. Let's do it, Miss Ruby.
Alright. So, what you're seeing is the entry to Newsplace. Alright, and I'm going to hit W so I can get to walk. Get my cursor back over there the moment it's supposed to be on. Okay, there we go. Alright, and wow. Okay, so it wants me to play around this hold, press and hold up view. To walk forward. Alright, and continue. Alright, this Me's Place. And when you come into Me's Place, this is the Black History Museum created by the Makersburg. Okay. With the collaboration of, what's the name of the school?
Bolton Elementary School.
Bolton Elementary. So this is another type of a metaverse. Isn't it great? We're watching a metaverse from inside of a metaverse.
Oh, I love it.
I love it. Ask me why I love Web3. What can't you do? Alright, so the first part is you gotta jump in.
Make it fun. I love it. Just jump right in.
That's right. Now let's see if music's gonna act right and let the faces move like it's a pitch.
Maybe. I got a little bit more than I should going on. Let me just close out some extras. Y'all can see I got a whole lot of.
We gotta be fair. I saw that Tesla girl. I'm still trying to make sure that's real.
I know. Look, I steady. I really do steady.
Man.
All right. So let's see if we can get the platform to participate with us. So you guys, I'm gonna walk through and you explain to them what they're seeing.
Okay. So basically, what's going on is this was basically a muse space, and as we explained to you, what happened is each individual picture is an African American Black history figure who basically was put up as an individual for our students' wax museum. And so basically each student, so each and every single last picture you see here was basically put in a position of basically representing one student. And so each of those students basically, as this went through, would be able to not only identify their picture up here, but if someone basically said, oh, okay, well, as this presentation is going on, well, who is this person? The student can come up and say, my name is such and so forth, and basically go ahead and go through a whole entire biography for the most part. Just, a short, sweet, to the point biography, but just, where they're from, what they did, and, what significant contributions they made, to the world. So once we did that, what we basically then did with those students is basically went through, and mind you, what I didn't mention is, again, big shout out to Fulton Elementary School. What we were doing was partnering with their 21st Century After School program with this, dealing with the BioDash event, which if you are in the Ohio area and you are interested in checking out what these kids have going on, we definitely have that BioDash event coming up on the 28th of February this year as well. So that's definitely something to check out. We did not do a metaverse space this year, but that is because we didn't have the partnership with them this year, just because they had a few different funding cuts. But what basically happened is that partnership allowed us to basically operate as the entrepreneurship teachers in that actual program. So once a week, every week for an hour, we would basically sit down with the kids, go over different things, specifically speaking about metaverse, as well as specifically speaking about different entrepreneur ventures, because what we basically did was set the stage for helping them understand you not only can just use these spaces for projects and use these spaces for fun things like gaming, but you can also use these spaces for actually business-oriented things. So like I explained to the kids, you could have had a lemonade stand that you basically sell products of, we figured out a way, and again, this is just something made up off the top of my head, but we figured out a way to make powdered lemonade, and it's a specialty type of lemonade, and we sell the packs, and it's basically a virtual lemonade stand, and when you make the order, we send you the packs. Well, you can set all that up through these metaverse spaces, and it's a kid that's operating it the whole entire time, but that kid doesn't have to have face-to-face, potentially weird interactions with adults and things. You as a parent can feel safe to say, my kid operates online and they sell all their products. The only thing my kid knows is the person's name and their address, and I help them mail out all their stuff. So realistically, not only just big businesses, but even small businesses as small as, like I said, let's just say a lemonade stand for kids. It's all possible here, not only just in the metaverse space, but in the blockchain space in general. There's so many different avenues and ventures that you can get into. And you know, a lot of different things, like Ms. Ruby was explaining, with the actual space that we're in dealing with this Rock and Crypto Hall. It's basically set up to where, you know, there's a lot of different things. If you actually come in here during the show, there's more things in here, there's more things on the different walls, you see a lot more flyers and things. So it's just one of those things where there's so much potential. The fact that we were able to take, and I mean, you know, we're live on a podcast right now, doing an interview right now, but everybody has to understand that, you know, we're able to take our show that we normally do by having people come in virtually on StreamYard. We all get on the StreamYard and then we go live and we talk face to face from there. Well, now we can actually get into a position where we come on here in Spatial and we're basically able to sit in different spaces and have interviews and be able to have actual shows here in Spatial and be able to conduct the same type of conversations we would via, you know, a video format in StreamYard here on Spatial and be able to stream what we're doing in Spatial out the same exact way we would the actual normal frequency that we have. So, I mean, it's just so much potential and so many different things we can do, but, you know, the work, not only just what we do, but what so many other different people do in different places, there's just so much potential. And we as the people in the blockchain space, you know, we have so much room to be excited, but I'm more so excited about what, not only just the opportunities we have, the opportunities that other organizations around us have, but what the opportunities these young children have to be able to take advantage of the future, grasp it in their hand, and be able to build something that's able to last them for the future, and not only just last them, but pay them as well, because at the end of the day, the normal 9 to 5 sequence that we're all in, it's gonna change and it's gonna look different, but I would much rather that sequence change and these children be much more prepared and solidified than be in a position where it changes and now they're basically subjected to doing things that normally would have been, oh, well, you know, we don't have to do that, and now you have to do that. So,
yeah, that's the blockchain. That's the blockchain. That's what we call it around here. Because man, it's something, like you said. It's something that we all connected to, and it's bigger than us. And it's gonna keep going. You know, these young people have to know it and know what to do with it. And like you said, how to even use it, how to start making money. And you know, I love using the example of Warren Buffett. Like, he is who he is because he started investing at 12. You know, like you said, he was taking his money, and instead of going and, you know, going to the ice cream, you know, corner store, whatever they had around his neighborhood, he was taking it and buying stocks and buying Coke. And it's because his dad poured that into him. You know, he didn't just think that was cool. It was his elders that poured that into him and that emphasized, like, no, this is what you want to be doing to get to where he even is now. And that's why it's important for us that are, you know, able to see this and able to learn and able to put it into this, you know, easy information. Like you said, you work at the school, you know, so I even commend you all for really being in the school and, you know, pouring this into that. Because I know I got a few aunts, a whole bunch of relatives are actually in the education system. And man, I hear the horror stories about it right now. And, you know, it's important for those that really care and want to educate and prepare the next generation to be doing just that. And it takes knowing this to be able to do that. Because if you're missing this, then they're going to be missing out. It's like how, you know, we all came out of high school like, well, nobody ever told us to write a check. And it's like, yeah, maybe writing a check won't help us much right now. But if we had some type of financial literacy, something that was, you know, they're educating that about that, then, you know, it's again our duty even to the planet and apple trees and having, you know, to eat, you know, that's again the point of that tree and the apple, and that's why we represent that. So I appreciate everything that you shared. Did anybody else from the P2G Network have anything else that you wanted to actually add and say about today's episode, your evolution, or anything else that you have going on in store, or anything else even in Muse Place that you want to show. This gallery was amazing. I seen Oprah, and I actually was just giving that example with it being Black History Month about how I did a project when I was in elementary school as well, where I had to dress up as Oprah and really like learn about her. And here I am as a meta producer, years later, and that is someone that I still look to, like, oh, well, what time did Oprah start her show? Oh, at 4 o'clock. Okay, using things that work well. She has the own network, so again, it's not foreign to me to think like, hey, this isn't possible, or you have to look like this to get it done. And again, us just continuing to be those examples and keep busting these doors open. So, did anybody else have anything else that they wanted to add before we wrap up today's episode?
Yes, I just want to make sure that I add that if you looking to plant a tree, make sure you love our sister JoJo Campbell and the 3me.info. That's TH3 me mee.info. Also, that every Rap Crypto episode will be planting a tree to offset the carbon emission that we emission from the show. So basically, it will plant a tree to offset the carbon that we produce in the air. So we definitely care about the environment on Rap Crypto.
And tune in to Rap Crypto too.
Oh yeah, man! Tune in to Rap Crypto. Tune in to Rap Crypto on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. A podcast episode will be up there on Anchor, Spotify, and Fountain. If you are on Fountain, you can just Rap Crypto and get paid in satoshis. So definitely listen to us on Rap Crypto on Fountain.
All right. Also, don't forget to join the P2G Network and to meet some new people to join in this journey. She may be for you, may not be for you, but it's best to know, and you never know who you meet and what journey you might take with them on the way. So thank you for having us.
Yeah, I wanted to jump in and say, my mouth's over here tripping. My mouth's over here tripping, but I just want to say, just being in the crypto space is amazing. Just learning about, all the techniques and surprises that it has to offer. And also, just being able to have the ability to learn. And I also want to, encourage everybody out there to, those who are listening, even those who are not listening. I hope, this voice vibrates to all, but I just want to encourage everybody to, just get into the space, find some trustworthy people that's already in the space,
Right.
that can actually, break it down to what, even all the way down to, you got currency, but then you got crypto, you got a coin and a token, so those are different. Find people who, can break it down like that, even deeper than that, but honest people who can help, navigate. That what makes the best team.
Yes, and you guys are an amazing team, and I truly, sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate you all for taking the time to actually meet with us on the jet, show us around your space, and tell us about your whole journey and where you guys are heading. I know there's so many amazing things in store with you all, so make sure you guys went and followed them. They told you all their links where you can find them. Like they said, come watch Rapping Crypto every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Really support these amazing innovators and creators. Learn and join these amazing networks that are actually here in the space, ready for you all whenever you are ready as well. So this has been an amazing flight. It was great learning and talking with you all. We'll see you next episode. Peace.
On behalf of the flight crew, thank you for flying with us and have a pleasant stay.